Meta's teen safety settlement lands after the bell today. Headlines said $17 billion, but only $12.1 billion is what Meta actually owes. That $5 billion gap is a contingency, and here's the twist: Meta does not control what triggers it. Meta Platforms settled Wednesday with a coalition of state attorneys general in the long-running federal child safety case. The headline price of roughly $17.1 billion is simply not the number that hits Meta's balance sheet. Meta's committed floor is $12.1 billion, that's the concrete amount Meta itself has already agreed to pay under the deal. The remaining $5 billion only materializes based on how Meta's rivals settle their own separate teen safety cases in coming quarters. So the ceiling only fills in if peers pay more, a lever Meta itself simply cannot pull. Bloomberg reported today that a coalition of 29 states had originally claimed roughly $200 billion in damages before mid-trial talks began. A $12 billion floor against a $200 billion opening claim is why the tape read this as a clean win for Meta. The case is MDL 3047 in federal court in Oakland, and it was actively mid-trial when the settlement talks quietly landed. Now to tonight's main event. Nvidia reports Q2 fiscal 2027 after the closing bell. Nvidia's own revenue guidance for the quarter came in at $91 billion, already a massive number. Analyst consensus sits slightly higher at $92.18 billion, so a modest beat is the expected outcome. But the more revealing story is buried in Nvidia's last 10Q filing. Per that filing, Nvidia bought $18.6 billion of private company stakes in a single quarter, an unprecedented pace. That single line $18.6 billion equals 37% of Nvidia's operating cash for the period. Non-marketable securities on the balance sheet nearly doubled to $43.4 billion in just 13 weeks. And the footnotes flag another $27 billion in committed but still pending private investments yet to come. Watch tonight's call for any color on where that private capital is actually being deployed across the AI stack. Now to macro. Apollo's chief economist Torsten Slok flatly declared, China Shock 2.0 is here. Chinese high-tech exports surged nearly 41% year-over-year through July 2026. Chinese semiconductor exports doubled over that same window, a direct challenge to US and Korean chipmakers. In electric vehicles, BYD already outsold Tesla globally in 2025, 2.26 million battery EVs against Tesla's 1.6 million. Slok's warning is that this is a deflationary supply wave aimed squarely at Western industrial margins, not just tech. The volatility curve is flashing its own warning, the November 2026 bump. VIX spot today is a calm 15.8, well below its long-run average. But November futures have jumped to 19.7, a clean midterm hedge signal on the curve. Since 1945, realized volatility has topped the prior year in 80% of midterm election cycles. The S&P 500 averages only about 4% in midterm years, then rebounds around 12.4% the following 12 months. Election day is November 3, 2026, and a split Congress remains the current polling base case. 3 quick hits from after today's close, then a watch item for tomorrow. Supermicro surged about 9% after Cisco added its rack systems to the secure AI factory with Nvidia, shipping October. Taiwan prosecutors charged 9 individuals over restricted region shipments, but Supermicro itself faces no corporate charges or business penalties. Trane Technologies delivered Q2 revenue up 10.6% to $6.35 billion, with a record $12.1 billion backlog. But gross margin fell 1.9 points as $742 million in data center cooling acquisitions weighed on the P&L this half. Apple launched the Mac Mini M6, its first 2nm chip, starting at $899, 50% above the M4 launch. The Mac Studio with M5 Ultra ceilings at 512GB of unified memory, both models ship September 22. What to watch at tomorrow's open, how the tape reacts to Nvidia's print, and any read on that $18.6 billion private stakes spend. That's your close today. Subscribe to LineVest Daily so tomorrow's briefing lands the moment the bell rings, and the full stories live at LineVestNews.com.